The stage. There we go. Oh, my camera's up. Hello. Oh, there's a horrible glare. Ooh, sorry, I'm in my kitchen. That light is horrible. Um, oh, looks like this horrible glare right here. Maybe that'll work. There we go. Kind of. My head is like blocking the light a little bit. No, not really. Oh, my kitchen light is so bright. I'm trying to like adjust. There we go. That works a little bit with my big old head. Ooh, no. So I gotta kind of block that. There. Now I feel like I'm cooking in the dark. Yeah, you can just turn it off. It's fine. For a little bit until I'm done with this, and then I'll go throw it away. All right. So I'm sorry, but I'm actually cooking. So I needed to finish doing this, and I kind of lost track of time. I'm sorry I've been away for so long. I had celebrated my birthday on the 11th. It wasn't the greatest day. I ended up in court, and then I had some stuff going on at my secondary job, so it was a lot going on. High stress, high anxiety, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I kind of like forgot one day about the stream because I was so upset about something that I kind of just came home from work and went to sleep. I think that was last Monday. Maybe it was Monday because I was supposed to go live on Sunday, and then I went and got my daughter a kitten. And then Monday, when I was supposed to go live, I was so upset that I actually came home and went to sleep because I was very upset about it. So that, unfortunately, is what that was. I apologize to anybody who came and was waiting on the stream because I was a mess. I was a mess. And I was like, you know what? I don't know if I need to be showing everybody all of that just yet. So thank you for bearing with me. Um, my hubby is helping me, so he's in the kitchen right now. Um, but there's been a lot going on in the world of YSL. Um, SB is free. Miss Kayla Bumpus or Kayla Jackson got him YouTube started so he can start making content. She still does hers, but he technically has a record. He got his 10-year sentence, 3 years to serve with time served, or is it 2 years with time served, and 8 years of probation by Judge Whitaker in behalf of the YSL trial. And then he also had to plead out on another case on some charges he got while he was in the Fulton County Jail. And um, essentially, he's ending up with about 12 years of probation. It looks like roughly. But he should be all right because he had 8, and then I think there was one I think charge that ran concurrent and not consecutive, so he ends up with 5 years on that one. I think it put him at like 12. Max Shard did a few interviews. However, Yak Gotti is still in jail. The only one found not guilty on all charges, and he's still in jail. They had a warrant for him that they brought up at his bond hearing, and the warrant wasn't even signed the day that they brought it up. They signed it the next day. I don't know how that works in the legal system, but okay. And then they set his probation violation hearing. He did have a date in January, but now they moved that to February. So he gets to spend all of the rest of the Christmas season, holiday season, in jail. January, and then he has his probation revocation hearing. It sounds like they're really trying to give him some time. I think the charges that he's in there for, he had a few years left on probation. So, yeah, there's that. Also, um, we got, we got, I know you can go and get access to like body cam footage. You can go and request that footage. The same with like the way that they do jail calls now. You can go and request those jail calls. And it looks like that I don't know if actually Law and Crime is the one who requested the footage or if Law and Crime got the footage somehow and then they just are the ones that just decided to release it. But they leaked Thug's jail call with another woman that wasn't his girlfriend. And Doug Weinstein was ticked about it. Basically made, a legitimate threat to Law and Crime and said, if you guys think about doing that with Deontay Kendrick, I'm going to tell him to sue. So that's what that's gonna look like. Hopefully that's not an issue. I feel like they all have such a great working relationship, and I get it. Social media, we're here for the likes and views because that's how we stay relevant and that's how we function. But there are some like wholesome social media sites out there, I think, that they do it purely for the love of the game, just for the content. And, it's not about who they can put on blast and to just put the content out there, But different strokes for different folks, guys. And we just try to breeze on past it. Let's see here. I had gathered some clips that I wanted, because that's kind of what this stream was going to be about. We're going to watch like some old clips of the YSL trial and kind of sit back and have, a hee hee ha ha moment. I ain't gonna lie to you. I kind of got mad going through trying to find the clips. When I pulled up the clips of like Archillian Bennett and, the way Love did her with, bringing her in and this is our witness and we're fine with her being in, jail uniform. And, I was like, God, they really didn't care at all, the way that they put the D'Angelo White dude on the stand. It was like, Mr. White, sir, are you afraid of being a snitch? And it's like, that man has got 36 more months to do in jail. If you were worried about his safety by any means at all, why would you have even brought him there? You want him to come snitch online, because literally that's what you want him to do. That's what you kept calling him. Whether it was tell the truth or not tell the truth, regardless in any capacity, in their world, that's considered telling. And then send him back to prison where he has to deal with people on an everyday basis, knowing that he just came and testified for the Fulton County DA's office. How would his safety not be in jeopardy? And what exactly would you do to protect him, considering the fact that you wasn't even protecting the inmates that you have in jail? You're housing your most vulnerable population of inmates, your 17-year-old boys, with your most violent inmates. It was kind of refreshing to hear from the jurors that they were also bothered by that, to know that, the public was not alone in being, outraged by that behavior. But yeah, everybody got everyday life shit going on. You know what I mean? Like we all do. And I guess that's why I've been so off lately, because I have my own everyday life stuff going on. And I was just like, how can I delve deep into that? Had me questioning my job, everything. I'm washing my hands, guys. Sorry if that water is loud. But I was cooking. Hi, Nim. How are you? Missed you. I was just giving a little background. I haven't ran away. I have some stuff going on. A little complicated. And I was just trying to figure out some light at the other side of the tunnel. Get my world together. I'm actually cooking, so that's why I'm like concentrating, but I also was supposed to go live at 6, so my time got a little bit beside me. And I'm making a delicacy, so it's kind of intricate, and you gotta clean it, soak it, clean it, soak it. Could you grab me, like, you have a lemon or a lime? Some vinegar, something. All right. Thank you, sir. But how have you guys been feeling about all the content you've been seeing lately on YSL? I feel like even though it's like it's over, it's still not over. I was a little bit heartbroken by the Miles Farley plea. Yes, sir. By the Miles Farley plea. Just because he didn't do nothing wrong. He was in a car with somebody who wasn't even considered the shooter. And then in addition to that, he made clothes. He decided to align himself with the label and brand clothes, and people bought him. It's not like he was a millionaire or something based off of this. But, you know, he made him some little chump change and kicked it with some people. Probably got into some studio sessions. But, you know, it's not what you know. Sometimes it's who you know. You know what I mean? It can work in your favor, but it can also work against you. But he was already, it looks like, out on probation. So he just pled guilty to the RICO charge. He got his, you know, sentence. Judge Whitaker basically said, you know, you do good, you don't get in trouble, it'll be like this never even happened. And, you know, that's a bonus, you know. If he can just walk that down, he should be fine. You know, and them holidays are almost over. I'm happy for it. I'm a December baby, so I like the holidays, but I'll be ready for them to end, for real. For real. I'll be ready for the holidays to be over. My big old handful of chitterlings per my husband's request. He helped me clean them. But the next trial is coming, starting in February. We still got Eppinger. Who else? Garlington is on trial. Who else is on trial? Eppinger, Garlington is 4. The Miles Farley? No, Miles Farley is not. He put out. I can't think of the other one. Now I'm like drawing a blank because I was all prepared, and now I'm having to like go off my top of my head because I'm multitasking. But did anybody else see Thug's public apology to Meyer the scientist? I'm sorry. I'm not laughing to be facetious, but I am laughing because this man was in jail for 2 years. And I ain't gonna lie to you. I know men, they ain't been able to go to jail for 2 months and not call every single woman that they ever knew in life or anybody that they know in there be like, hey, hook me up with one of your homegirls. So at the end of the day, I feel like it was a conversation. This man didn't know if he was going to see the light of day ever again in life. It's fine. He's home with you now. It'll be all right. It's not the end of the world. We're all imperfect people. I'm not saying that, you know, I'm not understanding of her situation because in all reality, I am. What I am saying though is that every person deserves love and respect, but know who you're dealing with. If, you know, just know who you're dealing with. If you're dealing with, those type of people, football players, basketball players, um, rappers, they sometimes come with a certain type of energy. And unfortunately, that sucks. I'm almost done, guys. Finishing up, cutting up my onions, and then my potatoes, and then I will be done. And then we can go and chit chat galore. I can show you the progress that I also made in my basement. But yeah, I'm going to pull up one of the clips that I saved for the trial. Yeah, it actually is turning into a reality series. And I kind of knew it was going to go this way because, the trial was a mess. Literally, from the way that they picked them all up to opening statements, the trial was a mess. And then they got all this mess now. The Supreme Court ruling against Fani Willis and basically telling her she don't have the right to pursue the Trump RICO. And basically they're not going to dismiss it, but they like, your office right now can't touch it. So we don't know what that's going to look like or what she's going to try to do, but we're pretty sure that she's not going to be able to get another county to do it. So I think they're basically saying until a new administration gets in there, y'all can't touch it. And more than likely what's going to happen is when a new administration gets in there, it's going to get dismissed and it'll be out or done, or he'll be found not guilty as one of the two. But, you can't say that you are about the law if you're about breaking the law and thinking you're above the law. So that's what I feel like is messed up. You do sneaky, underhanded shit to get stuff done, and then the expectation is that people say, "Oh, well, I'm fighting crime, so it should be okay. I'm locking all the bad people up. I'm locking all the people up who committed crimes." But come on, man. Come on. Is that what we're doing? Or are we creating a name for ourselves? But anyways, let me pull up one of the clips that I had saved so that we can watch it together. Can I have that? Oh, thank you. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Yes, you are so amazing, Momo. So amazing. Thank you. Sorry, guys. My daughter grabbed a potato and a potato peeler. I was like, no, let mama have it. Let me get my video here pulled up. Take my... Here we go. It's not here. It's my playlist. There we go. Here we go. Here we are. Mm. Mm. Let's see here. Let's see. All. Mm, 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 no, it's not one. All right, so here's one of the clips from the trial. Let's take this off. Here we go. Do do do. I'll be back. I'll be back. I'm thinking, Mama. Share screen.
Yes. Hi, Tootie.
Other than whatever was in the wiretaps, any other co-conspirator statements that y'all on the defense maintain are late identified? Your Honor, we maintain that all statements beside the 3 statements provided. And I understand that, and y'all told me that before, but I don't know what that. Not the 3 that were identified before, not anything from the wiretaps. Are there others? And if so, what are they?
Okay, so the state, I thought that where we left it, and I wasn't even here that day, but I watched the video, that where we left it is that the state has provided hundreds of wiretaps and jail calls and still have not identified statements within those hundreds. So for us on our side to go through the hundreds, guess the statements that the state is going to may use and then give them that list, which at the same point in time, when what the state can do, because I'm sure they have their case lined up by now, is to give us the statements that they've identified. And then if we have a legal argument against them, we can make that argument. And just for the record, Judge Granville not only told them to provide all the statements from December of 2022,
I don't know. I
after that,
how do you think it'd be?
not only identify statements,
Okay, never
but
mind.
any evidence that they've identified, transcripts, any of the case, videos, that if they know that something is inadmissible,
Dirty martini for the win. I just
tell us, hey, I'm going to introduce this. I've already redacted things that I know as an experienced litigator.
Yeah.
It's probably not admissible. And then if we have any further redactions, to let them know. So that is the way this was.
You can get your cards or whatever you want.
Not be a trial by ambush, not have the jury sitting outside waiting on us to get through the issues. These are the orders from Glanville, and Your Honor, respectfully, none of them get followed.
What, baby?
I'm noticing that. How about, I had asked about the January 10th.
All right.
The blurb at the beginning.
That was, and you, Ms. Love, weren't here at the time, and we wondered if maybe you knew the origin of that.
I heard, and I do know the origin.
Okay.
What's up, bro?
So if I'm not mistaken, the court was inquiring and there was a motion of sorts regarding the date at the top of the picture of Mr. Stillwell looking out of Mr. Williams' condo, contemplating. So that photograph, Ms. Hilton was correct in that Mr. Zachary told the police that he took the photograph a few days earlier or in the latter part of 2014. However, the date on the photograph comes from as it was placed on the social media page, the same way that the date of a posting appears on any Instagram or Twitter or whatever. The date of the posting is under the picture that is posted. So I didn't, unless I misinterpreted what the question was, the answer is that it was screen grabbed from Mr. Stillwell's account. And the date of the posting as shown on his social media page was January 10th, 2015.
Okay, well, it didn't, if it's a screen grab, is this the screen grab?
I have to see the
Well, it's what's filed in the motion. Motion in limine regarding admissibility of social media posts and alleged date of posting that was filed 8/15.
If Your Honor would allow me
Sure.
to take a look at it.
Ms. Percival, can you hand that to us, please? See that little,
Oh, so
hand it back to me.
what that is, Your Honor, is that when a person is looking on the social media page and they want to know the date of a posting and they hover, it'll pop up or pop out in that manner.
Are you gonna have somebody that is gonna be able to testify to that?
We sure are.
And
Because it was done on
so
more than one.
somebody hovered, that date appeared, and then y'all took this screen shot or whatever, screen grab.
Two things. We, in not just this instance, in other instances as well, we not only captured it as it was shown, like if it with January the 10th, 2015 on the picture itself, but we also went back, the person who was looking at the social media page,
I'm going to speed this
and
up.
hovered just to get that pop out that the court is looking at on that exhibit. So in multiple cases, we have
What to do?
a screenshot of a social media page with the date on it,
Mhm.
and
can do
then
that.
a corresponding screenshot with the hovering where the date pops
Okay.
out.
So will you then intend to admit it as, or offer it as, are you gonna have both of those things available?
Both, yes, I mean, yes, in terms of what we intended to proffer,
It would be the screenshot as you look at it, or the screen grab as you look at it.
yes.
That has it the way we normally see it, and then also the hover, and then also somebody that is going to be able to say, when we see these dates, we have a reasonable degree of confidence that they actually mean what they say.
That-
And why?
We would have the person.
That's exactly what I meant.
Pulled it from the page.
All this
One, talk
fuss
about what's on
The
the
picture
screen grab, what's on the
was
exhibit, and
taken
two, what the date
way
means on the
before
exhibit
January
based on
10th.
their understanding and
It
knowledge
wasn't
of
even
that
taken
particular
that
social
day.
media platform. And three, we would ask, because I wouldn't see a need to admit both the original posting and the posting where it's popped out. But just as a next layer of confirmation as to the date that it was posted, we would ask, hey, how do you know? And then that person would say, well, you can also hover over the picture or the posting and the date pops out. And if the question becomes, well, did you do that? Yes, here's that exhibit with that pop out date.
Okay. That woman just frustrates me so bad. You know, I really hope that they don't put her in, she ain't in the new trial. I feel like the new trial is going to be Abate.
Hi, everybody.
and
Welcome back to the AV
Atkins.
to the 7th Power Channel, where we talk about all.
Oops. I don't know if that's really who's going to be handling the trial going forward, but considering how Judge Whitaker has kind of been doing things, I really don't see, I don't know, part of me really just doesn't see Love and Hilton handling this next trial. I really don't. I keep trying to, I'm like, maybe, maybe something will change, maybe, but I'm not gonna lie, the better part of me is just like, I don't know. I don't think so. I think Whitaker is kind of like, nope. Keep them out my daggum courtroom right now. Baby, I love you, but I don't want to listen to you. I want to view my playlist. Is it gonna play again? All right, so I'm trying to pull up the playlist because I saved them all the videos that I wanted to watch to my playlist. Yes, baby. Come here. Come here, love bug. Come here. Come here. Hold on. Mama coming. Okay. This is one of my most favorite clips ever. This is Glanville Days, guys. No, I didn't mean to fast forward all the way there. Hold on. Let me go back. I knew you can get through there, boo-boo. Hi, boo. Hi, boo. Hi, boo. Yeah.
To the second time that this honorable court in front of the jury has addressed me inappropriately and wrongly. Second time. The first time I gave the state discovery of a song from a Super Bowl weeks before. There was an objection. You assumed that I didn't give it to the state. I didn't want to embarrass the court. So you were yelling at me and saying, do you understand me? Do you understand me? And instead of saying, do you understand that you're wrong? I sat here and I said, yes, Your Honor. That was to protect the integrity of this courtroom and the court. Now you say in front of the jury how unprepared I am. I am not unprepared for anything.
Okay,
I have, no. I need to make a record. Your Honor,
Mr. Steele, wait a second. When you keep delaying, okay, and that's what's happening to the court. You keep delaying and elongating and pushing out these particular our ability to present a seamless case in front of the jury. That's my purview as a judge. And I've asked you a number of times, you and your colleagues on both sides, to go ahead and listen to whatever it is you need to do, prepare me as needed. Now, I asked you those two particular questions because if they turn over the audio to you in discovery and you've listened to them already, then you either have an objection or you don't have an objection. And I was trying to solicit from you whether or not we could just go ahead and just hear it. So you can imagine my frustration because all these little delays just elongate out the whole our presentation in front of the jury. That's for your benefit, not for mine, Your Honor. So that's why I've told you all at various times during this particular case. It's not because I want to embarrass you, Mr. Steele. It's just that I'm trying to kind of keep this thing presented in a way that the jury can listen to it.
And the court is wrong. What happened was, let me finish, and I'm making this for the record. What happened is, and I don't get embarrassed by you, but I don't want to embarrass you. I made an objection that some of these jail calls have a third party who will not testify. I objected to hearsay. The state said it explains the effect.
Okay, which call?
These calls, as you.
Okay, well then why aren't we taking them up beforehand?
The state just said just now. These are the 3 additional calls that they want.
Okay, all right. Well, then here's your response. I'm going to give you an acceptable response.
I'm going to make my motion.
Huh?
I need to make my motion,
Judge. There's more to this, and we need to listen to these calls.
Right.
Then no, you didn't say that though. So I wouldn't have had that opportunity. But that's why I keep telling you this. Okay, I mean, like I told you, forewarned judge, a happy judge. All right. So had you just told me up front, Judge, we have not had the opportunity to listen to all of those calls. We've only been able to listen to 2. I want to listen to the other ones. And
I've listened to the calls. I know. I don't know what the third one they're trying to do.
Okay, well,
let me just finish. So you presuppose I don't know what the calls are. Well, I don't know what the third call is because Ms. Hilton, who's professional, said, I'll take a break and I'll let you know what it is. But the other 2 calls are a baseball game and at the chicken. They're discussing chicken wings. Or chicken. I understand those calls. There's issues in those calls that you need to address. But I politely make an objection and say, Your Honor, based upon what you told me, which is what you told me, we'll take it up later. I wanted to raise it. You tell in front of the jury how unprepared I am. And let me tell you something. I am not unprepared. I don't appreciate the court telling me that. And you don't. And I asked you, tell the jury that you were wrong when you admonished me last time. You said you wouldn't do that. This is the second time. And you know what it does to me? I don't care. I'm hurt because you're a court, but I really don't care. But what does it do to Mr. Williams?
Mr. Steele, I'm not trying to personally insult you or hurt your feelings. Okay, you are a grown professional advocate. I'm a grown professional jurist. And people say things to me that border on the lines of I could take action or not. You've certainly said some of those things to me during the trial of this case. I have let them go. So, sir, that's just the trial. That's just the trial of the case. Okay,
no, but that man's life is here.
And you know you're doing a fine job in representing him. But you know what? That's just the way we are right now. But the crux of the issue is, Mr. Steele, and the representatives from the state and everybody else. What happens right now is I have to take a break in order to vet all of these issues, which I'm required to do, Mr. Steele. And that's what is kind of disappointing to me because
this is my birthday baby. Her birthday's 3 days after mine.
Go ahead and do this, and this is what delays the presentation of this case in front of the jury.
You know, if I would have done what the state did and not poking anything at Ms. Hilton, you would have said to me, "Why didn't you share those calls with him before? You were out all day today. We didn't start court till 1 o'clock." I would have shared them.
I know you would have,
but the state didn't. I'm not poking fun because I can deal with it. But
well, you know, but here's the problem. I have a problem with it because at the end of the day, I got to listen to a 15-minute call.
You don't have to listen to anything, but you have to make a ruling.
Yes, but I have to listen to it in order to make a ruling on those. And even if you said you've listened to the chicken call and the baseball call, and you say there's other issues that come into play, it's better for us to take those things up before I ask for that jury. And I could have done that this morning. I could have done that at another point in time. So I mean,
I raised this issue to you, and I don't remember the date, but it was days ago. I raised it, and the court said, "All right, understood. And we'll take that issue up when it comes." Now, what am I supposed to do? Okay. Sit there and say no objection?
No.
I said, Judge, it's an issue we need to take up.
Not at all.
In addition to that, today alone, and this happens, today alone, the state introduced 2 exhibits. I've never been given them before, ever. You know what I did? No problem. No problem. Because I think that's professional. One was a Google map. It needs to be clarified for the record that it was not done on September 11, 2013. And then a map with little dots with 0.4 miles. I've never seen before. But I didn't do anything, Your Honor. I want to move the case.
Just
but when the
to
court, it gives me no pleasure in saying this. I believe that this honorable court is biased. against Mr. Williams and or his counsel. And I ask you to consider recusing yourself, or don't do this again to me. This is inappropriate to me. I respect you, but what am I supposed to do? Sit there while you do this? I didn't do anything wrong. I did exactly what you teach me to do and the courts teach me to do. But instead, no, I got to finish this. Then I get told to this court says by Prosecutor Love that I'm not being candid with the court and I'm misrepresenting because Mr. Bean never went to the hospital at Grady on September 11, 2013, and Ms. Love has a document on the desk to prove it. I sat right in front of Your Honor at the table, at the bench, and I said, I'd be careful what you say. It's not accurate. Ms. Love looked down on me and she said, it is accurate. You said, we'll take a break, figure it out. After the break, you didn't even bat an eye. Ms. Love said, yeah, I was totally wrong. Mr. Steele's right. He was taking a Grady. If I would have done that and called another member of the bar disingenuous, not truthful, no candor, and misrepresenting, you would have had me yelling in front of a jury.
You know what? We can come back to this. Kristen, no. My condolences to you, love. My condolences to you. A good friend of our family, she's my brother's wife, just lost her father today. So I completely understand. Thank you so much. I seen your birthday wishes. I appreciate that. Girl, you are like my channel bestie. Wherever I go live, whenever I go live, girl, you are always there. So no, do not ever feel any type of way. My condolences to your family. My prayers are going out to you and yours. Take it one day at a time. I lost both my father and my stepfather, so I just have my mom now. So thank you so very much. Thank you so much, Kristen. No, Nim. Glanville can never admit he's wrong. He won't ever admit that he's wrong. But I just wanted to kind of show the stark differences between the two. So when you go back and watch the Glanville days of the trial, for the stuffing, 400. It's almost like traumatizing. It really is. It's almost traumatizing when you watch Glanville and how he ruled on stuff. Some days it was fine. Some days, you know what? You completely understood where he was coming from and you can make sense of it. But some days you were like, what is going on right now? Or is this real? Kari, I need you to calm down. Mama's doing her live. Hey, Kari Lee, we are not doing the Hot Wheels live. We are doing Mama's live. I need you to calm down, sir. But no, I completely understand that. I can imagine how hard it is, Miss Lady. Again, thoughts and prayers are going out to you and your family. I completely understand that. Like I said, I had some other stuff going on, which is why I had been kind of absent for the last week. I had court on my birthday. It was just for a traffic ticket, but the DA basically played me, and then I was a little pissy about it. She pretended like the officer was there and he wasn't, to try to get me to plead to diversion. So I was kind of annoyed by that. Jayon, quiet down. And then, so I think I've said several times that I work a second job and it's a night shift, which I do, and I do. But a couple of weeks ago, my supervisor it was like a consistent buildup of issues. But so one day my supervisor, who now I know is my supervisor, one day I get a random text message that tells me, go get a flu shot. I got a nasty email about you. And I'm like, I don't know who this is. Okay, whatever. I go about my business. The next message I get is about some scheduling stuff. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I get a message randomly basically telling me there was something I didn't do and I needed to be at a meeting the very next day. Well, I have another job and I have school. So I was like, yeah, no, that's not going to work with my scheduling. We can set something up, but that's not going to work. And she had basically not responded. And then when she didn't respond, I responded and let her know that I wasn't available. We could set up a date and time to schedule. What's up, boo? But yeah, we can't do the last minute scheduling situation. That doesn't work. What grown person can do a last minute scheduling, who has family, kids, and situations? But she said that I responded in an unprofessional manner. And so we've been going back and forth. It is what it is. But you know what I said? It's fine. I like my job. I'll do what I can to fix it and move on. But, you know, it's kind of one of those situations where I am very respectful to the people that I work with, and I expect the same. So, you know, yours had Alzheimer's. My friend's, her dad had cancer. So hugs and kisses for you. Hugs and kisses for you. This is my hug. It's my big old hug. You know what, Kristen? So with the room issue, yes and no. So as I moved into the basement, which I'm down here now, so if you can kind of see, I turned the basement more so into my closet and then my office space. Because my oldest daughter, when she moved upstairs into my master bedroom, she literally, so we have a double walk-in closet. She was just using like one closet, like one side of one closet, and then she had like a little corner in the room, and the entire rest of the master bedroom was just open. So I was like, you know what, this ain't gonna work. And then she told me, she's like, Mom, I have more stuff, but I got rid of it because my sister used to take up so much space. And I was very honest with her. I said, baby, I'm about to do the same. I'm about to invade your space, something like you've never seen before, because she's never had me invade her space. And I was like, I'm going to take one of them closets. I'm going to take the rest of the space. I'm about to move a dresser in here. I'm like, do you want that? She's like, nope. So I gave her the office. I moved my office stuff down here, and then I took my master bedroom back because it just made more sense. Yes, Nim. I'm hoping to progress my channel enough so that I can let go of my second job, but my second job helps kind of pay for school. So, and I work at a hospital, both my jobs, I work at a hospital. One, however, and they're both in behavioral health now. One, I'm like on the floor with patients, and that's my overnight job. And the other job, I handle administration work for the hospital in the behavioral health department. So similar fields, a little different trajectory. But, you know, I also kind of got to a point where I felt like, most of us, we work, and we do all the things that we're supposed to do to work and to have a savings and this, that, and the third. And unfortunately, because I'm a Sagittarius and because I'm like a very like an open spirit. I like to always be doing something. I like to always kind of a wild spirit, so to speak. Like if I can just up and go on a trip, I absolutely would. But I have kids and family, so all of that has to be planned out to a T. So it's cool to keep myself busy. I really want my channel to progress and do something big, because in my heart of hearts, I know that I have like this higher purpose that I'm meant for. And that purpose is also, people tell me all the time, girl, you are meant to like touch people and interact with people. And like, so yeah, that was a part of me starting my YouTube channel, is to be able to interact with people in a different way, but to be able to, I guess, share myself with people, because, I find that comforting to be able to be who I am with other people. I never had like this huge friend group because I was always afraid that people would be conniving and rude and standoffish and disrespectful and two-faced it. So I never had a real big friend group. I always have a really small, close-knit group of friends. But I don't know. I just got older and it was like, let's put yourself out there, girl. Can't help. Yeah, I got lots of stuff that I'm donating. I also have all my nieces coming over this weekend to raid my closet. I told them they can get what they want. I got wigs, I got shoes, I got clothes. Take it, get rid of it, because after that, I'm going to donate it to some charities for women. And then I got plenty of kids stuff I'm going to donate to some charities for kids to kind of help I will tell you, I posted like one of the videos I posted on YouTube on my TikTok, and somebody commented on my video and was like, how could you live like this? I guess based on, I guess to people who don't have a mass amount of stuff, like I look like a hoarder, and I know I'm a bit of a hoarder. I'm okay with that. My grandmother and my mother are way worse than I could ever be. My aunts are way worse than I could ever be. They have, if you think I have a lot of stuff, they have 10 times more stuff than I have. However, I understand that it's a lot. And just because it's a lot, if you feel some type of way about it, that's your feelings. I can't be mad at your feelings because, you may have 10 outfits that you rotate. I have 200 that I rotate. It is what it is. I can literally say over the course of the last year, I did not, out of 365 days, and probably even before that, probably more than that, probably closer to 400 days, I did not wear the same outfit twice to work, except for my second job, which I just wear scrubs. So my job that I work business casual for did not wear the same outfit twice. That is, and I still have outfits to burn. So yes, that is what my closet looks like. But, so it is what it is. But I also realize with social media, you're going to get a lot of hatred in the comments. I mean, I remember Vera hopping in my comments before I even knew who Vera was on YouTube, talking crazy. And I just deleted the comment, not thinking anything of it. And then I went back and was like, oh, let me apologize for that. I shouldn't have deleted it. I should have just told her, oh, yeah, I know. And then I just happened to see her in everybody else's comments and the way she goes back and forth. And I was like, oh, that girl just, whoever that person is, they just be hopping streams, just talking crazy. But, now I realize I should have just let her stay in my stream talking crazy. Because, it bothers me, but it don't bother me. I realize I'm not going to see you. If I do, great. I want to meet the people on my stream. But if I don't see you and you got trash to talk, it'll be okay. And if I do see you and you got trash to talk, I'm going to give you a hug and go on about my business. It's not worth ruining my day over. At the end of the day, I get mad about my kids, my man, and my money. Everything else, and this Young Thug trial, I get mad about that. I still get mad about that, but thank you, Nam. I agree. I've been having this moment lately of kind of just self-realization where I've been like, everybody ain't everybody's cup of tea. If any of you are on TikTok, have you ever came across, I was scrolling one day in my heated frustration, and they call it TikTok at night. There's a person over there. I don't really call her an influencer because she doesn't really influence anything. But, she just kind of speaks her truth. And her name is Blue Eye Jane. And she's like an adult worker from Australia. And so she just talks about her trysts with clients. And people love that. They just feed into it. They're like, okay. And, 1 million plus followers and people all in her comments every day, and I know that there's something euphoric and exciting about that. I'm just an average everyday girl out here trying to live my biggest life with a hope and a dream of retiring to Thailand or some ocean slated country because I want to. Within the next few years, I want to travel with my babies and homeschool them and just, live life. That's what it is. And I've just come to a point where I don't feel like we need to just disrespect and hate each other. I don't want to disrespect and hate people. I don't want to talk crazy about people just to talk crazy about people. I want to have a legitimate reason to talk crazy about people, like Love and Hilton, because they gave me a reason to talk crazy about them. Or a body. I don't know if y'all noticed, but a body is messy. Oh, he's so messy. But outside of that, I just want to just live and have fun and enjoy life and talk about ratchet TV that's actually real life. Like, this trial could have been a series. Legitimately, it could have been like, instead of Love and Hip Hop, Real Life and Times of Young Thug and a Crew. Like, legitimately, that's what this trial could have been. 170 something days of straight up BS, most of which got that far because Glanville took upwards of freaking 50 partial days, half days, some days, hour days, 30-minute days to be no days. But yeah, you know, Woody's out here, Woody's out here living his best life. He's now on his way to millionaire, $1 million status, just off of 20 versus ones and his beef with Charleston White. So, I mean, when you look at it from that perspective, you know, anything's possible. Let's look at something else. And this is one of the times, you know, one of the things that I found so refreshing when Judge Whitaker took over is when Judge Whitaker took over, young issues with the trial were put on the people who created the issue. So when the defense said that the trial was moving slow and not progressing forward, but then they really weren't willing to concede to anything so the state wouldn't have to call all these witnesses, Judge Whitaker called them out. She said, you guys, you keep saying this trial is taking forever, but you're not willing to concede to anything. And, you know, everybody's quiet. Brian Steele, Keith Adams, YSL Ponytail, Westmoreland, you know, everybody's quiet. They're just kind of like, okay, well, if that's our fault, that's our fault. It is what it is. But yeah, no, we're not conceding this shit. In other words, but you remember a time where the DA, a specific DA, just straight up lied to the judge's face because they wanted to get an Instagram post in. And knowing what we know now, Judge Whitaker handled that situation so much differently than Judge Glanville did. And this was prior to that situation happening. But I just wanted to remind you guys that birds of a feather don't always flock together. Just because they're judges don't mean they handle everything the exact same way. But Love had made it a habit to play the judges to get what she wanted. Thus, this clip.
Sure.
Harvey, yes, Harvey.
And I just need about 3 or 4 minutes. I've got to say this because I've been sitting there after our conversations. Let me just press
You remember this?
In any of our objections, whatever, you make a ruling. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. We move on. That's fine. If after your ruling, I've got a case that I want to bring to your attention, you consider your ruling based on this case, and then you consider it, that's fine. If you don't want to consider it, that's fine too. But what I found objectionable, and I want the court to address with the state, is what happened at the bench earlier. There was an objection to the video. You made a ruling. We moved on. The state came back up and made representations to you. And they weren't representations based upon some new case law that they had found. There were representations, misrepresentations that were made directly to you, all of us standing there right there at the bench. She said something very, very fact specific in an attempt to get you to readdress the issue again. The Madam Prosecutor said, I want you to listen to the 17-second video, because what you had based your ruling on was that the parties in the background couldn't be identified, right? And Madam Prosecutor said to you, and was not accurate. And I'm going to be charitable and say that she was
disingenuous.
That she was disingenuous. What she said was, these people in the background, the only thing that you hear are people saying, yeah, yeah. That's it. When Mr. Steele corrected her and said that's not true, she said, Mrs. Steele is not accurate. What Mrs. Steele just told you is not true. The only thing you can hear in the background is yeah, yeah. And actually, when she stepped up there, it was in an attempt to act as though she didn't know what your ruling previously was, because their attempt was to go ahead and play the video at that time, despite your previous ruling. My point is this. After you decided to reconsider, you want to hear the video yourself, you had a chance to hear it. You had a chance to hear what we had already heard, what we knew it said, what they knew it said. And there are at least 5 or 6 different things on that video audio that were in contradiction of what Madam Prosecutor said. On God, snitching bitches. I'm gonna tell a lie on God. That's what I'm talking about. No back and forth with you, bro. Fuck nigga. I'm not just saying that for emphasis. I'm saying that because what she said to you was inaccurate. At some point, Your Honor, I'm asking you to, we've had this conversation about candor with the court over the course of the past number of weeks.
3.3.
Yeah, we've had that conversation about it. And when we step up to you and we make a representation, it ought to be candid and it ought to be truthful. And what she said, and look, if she wins the motion, ultimately she wins. But you don't do it by standing there 3 feet from you in your face and lying to the court. And that's what she did. And she knew what she was doing, and it's not right. You heard Mr. Steele. Mr. Steele said, Your Honor,
Hi,
I am going
guys.
to surrender my bar card and have her surrender her bar card if what she is saying is true. He wasn't wrong. She wasn't wrong. She was not candid with the court. And at some point, you've got to say to the parties, if I'd done that, I would expect you to say, Mr. Adams, don't do that again. Don't step up to me and lie to try and get me to rule or overrule something I've already ruled on. Don't do it again. You ought to say that to them. We're not playing games in this courtroom. These are these people's lives at stake. And like I said, sometimes you win a motion, sometimes you lose. But you don't get the court to address something or readdress something like that. That's all. Say something to them is all I'm requesting.
All right, sir.
Yes.
You may.
Your Honor, I would not have asked the court to listen to the 17-second video.
But what you did tell me, Ms. Love, wasn't the entirety of what was purportedly on states 112 Bravo. It did have other statements on it. It's different if you'd have told me, Judge, there are statements on there. Probably need to listen for yourself. Not just yeah.
Your Honor, my recollection, and I'm going to speak candidly because it's been.
I would hope there'd be nothing less than candor.
And Your Honor, that's what I've been pushing for all along. There have been times, as the court is aware, that we have been at the bench and misrepresentations, bald misrepresentations have been made, and the court has seen my reaction to them. I am the one that's constantly saying I have a duty of candor.
This is my daughter's.
All of you do.
We do. And when Mr. Adams just read those series of things that he read, those half of what he said, I didn't catch. The part that I did catch and remember is the part I kept repeating just now, snitching bitches. And I didn't even recall that part was there. But what I did know was that the relevant portion and the relevant speaker was Mr. Williams. And Your Honor, I'd ask, we can do this in chambers or wherever, but Your Honor, I believe that certain requests and comments to the court have risen to a level of being not true motions or requests based on legal analyses, but more leveled specifically on a personal level, which I've attempted to stay away from. Whatever one's reason for doing what they do, if it's to better advocate for their client, that is fine. They're entitled.
Well,
But
you're not entitled to do everything in whatever position you're from, be it the state or be.
Okay. So as that happens, I'm going to queue up this next one. Okay, but those of us that remember that, Judge Glanville was kind of be like, well, both of you need to be candid with the court. Both of you. Because you see how Love swapped that around? Like, well, Judge, it's not about this video. It's about the fact that they are targeting me because they don't like me. Woe is me. Woe is me. Help me, Judge. And so the judge is like, well, both of you have a duty to be candid with the court. Both of you have a duty to tell the court what's going on. Okay. But that wasn't the issue. The issue is that Love lied to get that video admitted. You admitted it, but never once did you ever be like, stop doing that. It would always be both sides. Both sides was doing something wrong. It could never be just the DA or just the defense. When it was an issue where the DA got caught with their pants down, then it was always the DA and the defense together needed to be respectful and responsible. He was given every bit of, I don't know if you've ever really met like a man that was in the military from the South. But it's a certain type of demeanor that they carry themselves with, that it's not that I'm better than you, but it's very authoritative. It's a very authoritative positioning that they have, their thought process on everything. It's what I say goes. And Glanville gave very much so that. But how many times did we hear, I mean, there was a few times, when Paige had taken over, the Pages would be like, she'd be like, oh, no. When Love was calling out her objection, oh, no, okay, I'm sustaining that. And then the defense would be like, no, Judge, this is not, no. They opened the door to her and she'd be like, oh, okay. She wasn't easily swayed, but you could convince, you didn't have to argue her down. If you argued her down, you were going to piss her off. She didn't want you going on and on and on forever about something. That would irk her nerves. I.e., the time Max Shard said something about to ask Zachary if he got the information from his lawyer that Love wanted to remind him he was on 20 years of federal probation or 20 years of state probation. And Love was like, that was inappropriate, da 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 da. And Judge Whitaker gets up and says, Love, or whatever. I got to go to the bathroom. I ain't had a bathroom break. Like shutting her down. And Love didn't want to let it go. And so she shut it down and let it to move on. That's what I think about. But you see how she handled Judge Glanville. Glanville didn't handle her. She handled Judge Glanville. And I think off the rip, I said, oh no, they bringing in a female judge. Love ain't about to have her way at all. And she did not.
Your Honor, so well, first of all, my motion is a motion for mistrial based on the actions of the prosecutor. My objection initially to the item was that it contained hearsay. The state represented at the bench that it was not hearsay. There was no hearsay contained in it. We did not address the issue of what the state already knew, which is that there was a phone number attached to it that she was going to try to elicit testimony from this witness about who that phone number belonged to. That in and of itself is speculation, but it's certainly hearsay. The document can't authenticate itself. I believe the site for that proposition is Twiggs versus State. It's 315 Georgia Appeals 191. So this witness can't look at a document and say that it says this phone number is from Justin Cobb's Instagram or social media posting. This is who it belongs to. So that was my objection. I believe the objection was well founded. I believe the state purposely put that up there after misrepresenting as to whether or not it contained any hearsay in it. And based on that, I would move for mistrial.
May I respond?
You may.
Judge, can
somebody put the document up?
Yes. First, the state objects to a mistrial. Second, Your Honor, what Mr. Adams indicated that he did not want on here were the comments. Where's the comment? There it is.
Yeah,
okay.
The comments generally being all of the writing on the right side of the picture.
Your Honor.
And so I said to you,
yes,
is any of it hearsay? Is any of it being offered for the truth? And you said no.
Your Honor, what I was asking the witness to do is to tell what was of significance to that number and what he did in terms of finding out and corroborating information that he obtained, because he obtained phone records. I don't intend that this evidence or this exhibit prove show that this is Justin Cobb's phone number.
You're asking him that?
No, Your Honor. I'm asking him, and I understand the court. I'm asking him what handle it's next to, and Your Honor, what he did after seeing what he saw on this social media page.
You represented at the bench that none of this, that being the writing on the right side of the picture, which we're all squinting at because it's tiny on the piece of paper. And so I am relying upon you to actually be honest with the court and opposing counsel so that we can deal appropriately with the evidentiary issue. Was any of it being offered for the truth? And you said no. And then you turned around, and after it was admitted over the overruling of the hearsay objection, based on the representation that nothing was being offered for its truth, you drew the witness's attention to the phone number and tried to have the witness testify to whose phone number it was. If that is not offered for the truth, what is it?
Your Honor, it explains what he...
Okay. The reason why that is so significant for me is the way that Judge Whitaker jumps in there on that. Because did you hear how Glanville addressed her when he realized that she had misspoke at the bench about a piece of evidence that she wanted to use? She represented it. She wanted to use it in one way. She didn't fully admit the issues with the document or the video. Once she got the video in, admitted the way she wanted to, then she kind of proceeded to doing what she wanted to do. And the defense had no choices about what happened. Adams was the same attorney that addressed it again. You see the day and night from the way that the judges handled that. Judge Glanville like softly called her out, but then like kind of ended with a, okay, well, it's in evidence now. We're going to move on. And Judge Whitaker is like, you slick mother. That's what I got. That's the vibe I got. And she was like, you played me. Like, I think this was the moment that Judge Whitaker realized that Love plays with people. She plays with the judges the way she wants to. I think this was the moment Whitaker realized exactly how Judge Glanville ended up having to get recused from the case. In that moment is when she realized that. She was like, this woman came up here representing one thing to me, and as soon as I let this piece of evidence in, she went dead for what she pretended like she didn't know was there. She knew why she wanted this evidence in. She wanted the phone number. I'll be damned. This was the thing for me. Watching her behavior back and forth. I've been doing it for like the last few weeks. I've been going back and forth between clips, back and forth. Like, she did that same thing right there. Okay. And she did that same thing right here. Okay. Dennis, I have a clip. It's a long clip, so I don't think I'm going to play it today. But I have a long clip from Dennis. The last trial, the last time he came and testified, not with Whitaker, but with Glanville. I think it was his second time on the stand. Him just going back and forth, talking crazy, saying this and that about this person, talking about the previous crimes that they were suspected of doing and all this stuff. And it just flows right through, as Brian Steele would say. Nobody's saying nothing. But then Judge Whitaker get on the stand, and you know what? It was comfortable. They were comfortable doing it because they had done it before. They had done it before several times. So they didn't think nothing of it. They didn't think Judge Whitaker was going to be like, oh, no. But they did it again. And, you know, I think by this time, because the defense was still objecting. You know what I'm saying? They were still objecting because they had to make their records. But I think at this point in time, when Dennis did it this last time, Weinstein was like, nah, we gonna woof this one for real. And he raised so much hell about it. Judge Whitaker was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to sanction you guys because y'all keep doing the same stuff over and over and over again. Y'all keep doing the same stuff. I need to let you guys know I'm not playing with y'all. And I think this is why she started implementing all those sanctions. Why she admonished Lori Love or DA Love, then she, you know, got rid of Dennis, the crime scene tech that was just about to come in and talk about a shell casing from the Blue Flame that, also matched the drive-by shooting, but they didn't know who did what. They just knew who was suspected of it. She started telling people, nope, you can't testify. Nope, you need to go. Nope, you can't come back. Because she was tired of the DA playing with her, playing in her face. And she wasn't willing to take it. And Love's thing was always, you know, she'd get up there and she'd run her mouth for 20, 30 minutes. And the judge would just get so tired of hearing her. He'd be like, okay. Well, Whitaker didn't work like that. Whitaker, you weren't about to run her for 30 minutes. She said, okay, move on. Okay, something else. Okay, that's enough. You know what I'm saying? And I could appreciate that about Whitaker because she started letting them know she wasn't to be toyed with. And when she started putting them sanctions on them, that's when the state started figuring shit out. They started figuring it out. They was like, oh, okay, she for real. She the truth. That's why I say my love for Whitaker goes back and forth. Sometimes I'm like, damn, girl, why you let that go? But then sometimes I understand you have to try to be equal to both sides. You may let some stuff in. You may kick some stuff out. But the state has a right to prove their case the same way the defense has a right to defend themselves. So it was the argument. And one thing that Whitaker loves is case law. So if you can bring her to case law, she'll listen to you all day long. But you can't be trailing on and on and on and on and on with the story. Give her the story. Give her the case law that backs up your thoughts, your processes, and your procedures, and then go on about your business and let her stew on it and make it make sense. But if you try to argue your case, give her case law and argue your case some more, you're going to irritate her. That's what I realized about her. Yeah. She rebuked. I admonish and rebuke you, Love. He been down here. He's kind of been chill. He keep jumping up on my shoes over here. And then on the purses over there. And that's it. But he's pretty chill. He probably just like, I feel like he's down here when I'm not down here. Because he's too comfortable.
I'm bringing him a climbing post.
A tree house?
No, a climbing post.
Okay.
It's a singular one.
Tomatoes. Okay. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to play it some more just because I like when she get really pissed off.
what steps he next took. It wasn't that he sat there and took this phone number and said, okay, this is Justin Cobb's phone number. He went and sought records based on what he saw on the social media post. So it's not, this post can't prove anything. I do expect the witness to testify based on what he saw, regardless, because it's a legitimate.
Why can't you just, at the bench, when you know that the reason you're offering it is for the phone number, and then to ask the witness other questions about what he did based on that phone number and seeing that phone number, say to everybody so that we know what we're dealing with, it's this phone number, and then I'm going to ask him XYZ about the phone number, and then we'll know what we're dealing with.
Because my understanding that what was being objected to was not the phone number, was the comments that was the words, Your Honor. And again, this piece of evidence does not prove anything, as anybody would be able to say. But when he saw this on Justin Cobb's page, or a picture of Justin Cobb next to what he believed to be Justin Cobb's handle, he sought additional information. The entire
phone number one of the comments.
I'm sorry, what, Your Honor?
I mean, that is included within what you're now calling comments, all of them just being.
And I asked at the bench what comments they were asserting was hearsay, Your Honor. I literally asked
at the bench, is any of this being offered for its truth?
And Your Honor, it's being offered to explain DDA Sprinkle's actions that he took next. Your Honor, these records have been collected as part of what he did in this investigation. He was asked on cross-examination, did he take particular steps to corroborate what was given to him in certain interviews? That was the preceding question before I asked him about this particular post. So the state intended and intends to introduce the records that DDA Sprinkle produced or obtained after seeing this post. This post can't suffice to prove that is Justin Cobb's number. This post only explains Scott's number and why it was significant to him in this investigation, where his steps and actions are being questioned.
But Judge, we don't get there. I hear what the state's saying, and it's disingenuous, because we don't get to the second step that they're talking about, what records he procured and why he did what he did, unless we go through the hearsay statement that's contained in the portion that I objected to. And the court is accurate. I was there, and I asked for everything that was on the right side, all of the verbiage to be. I said that was hearsay. The state said it was not. It clearly is, because to ask him that specific question, I mean, listen, none of us are obtuse. It is what it is. I think that the state was disingenuous about it. The state's being very slippery in regards to their response to the court's questions. I think it's willful, and I think a mistrial is appropriate. And I'm asking.
I can't figure out what it is. If it's disingenuous, if it is that, I don't want to malign the prosecutor standing in front of me right now. So I'm not going to say the possible things that it could be, but it is baffling to me that somebody with the number of years of experience that you have, time after time after time, continues to seemingly purposefully hide the ball to the extent you possibly can for as long as you possibly can. And I really don't want to believe that it is purposeful. But honestly, after a certain number of times, you start to wonder how it could be anything but that, unless it is just that you are so unorganized that you are throwing this case together as you try it. And I am sorry to say that, but this case is being made much more difficult for everybody because of the haphazard way in which it is being presented. I'm going to take a recess.
That was the best day ever. It really was. It was one of the best days ever. Oh, that was earlier that day. I love that one too. But that was like, okay, I see you. I think that was one of my favorite. That was one of my favorite clips because she went so hard on love. But if you watch that whole day of trial, she went hard on love the whole day. It's like the untimeliness of the emails that was coming in the day before, the what was it? The transcript that Love had got adjusted but didn't tell them about until that day. Mittens, baby, stop jumping up here. Come on, Papa. Come on. You gotta stop jumping up here. But didn't tell them about that morning of, but expected to use the transcript. She was like, nope, not going for it. And then she wanted to revisit Quindarius Zachary's testimony and have some of the things that they threw out brought back in. Mainly just because she wanted Detective Gaither to testify to it. Excuse me. And she did exactly what Brian Steele said she was going to do. She wasn't going to question Quindarius Zachary at all, but she was going to try to get everything in through Gaither. And he was like, this cat is jumping up all over everything. Oh my God. I've never owned a cat before, so I didn't know this was a thing for them to jump all over all of your stuff. Oh my God. But she was just annoyed. I remember over the lunch break, she finally sent Love like a copy of the transcripts that she wanted to bring back in. She initially had just sent it the transcript and not the actual sections that she wanted to get back in. But the judge was like, "Can you send that to me first thing in the morning?" Because she was like, while we're waiting for Sprinkle to come back over, because she was trying to get Gaither to testify instead of bringing Sprinkle back in, which we all know Glanville would have absolutely allowed. She told her to send her those sections that she wanted to try to get back in so she could review them. Love didn't send them to her till 11 something, which was right before lunch. So then they were coming back from lunch early to go over it. Judge Whitaker didn't allow not one of those statements back in. So much so that Love was like, well, Judge, if you're just not going to even like review it. She's like, I reviewed it and I decided to not to let him in. I'm hearing you out. That day was just a day. If you watched the trial that day, it was a day. I call it the lime, yellow, green, the Mountain Dew day. Really, I call it the lime, yellow, lemon lime day, but technically it's the Mountain Dew day because she had on that Mountain Dew colored blazer. But it's the day basically Whitter called her out and was like, yeah, I'm done with you. And then after that, she started taking a back seat to the situation. I think she questioned Gaither, but then after that, she was just kind of like backseat riding or whatever. She tried to remind the judge that Gaither was here all day on one day to testify, but you kept her on the damn witness stand for 2 days. And she's like, nobody needs to testify for 2 days on direct. Like direct a day and a half, and then a half a day for cross, and then another half a day for direct. That's crazy. So definitely for redirect, sorry. So that's like 2 days with the prosecution. It's not that damn serious. But not for the verdicts that they got. I mean, it made it look different if Thug was still in the trial, but I think personally Thug would have probably got 10 years with time served and the rest on probation and been done versus this whole 15 years of probation, 20 years backloaded. So if he mess up at all, now he got to do like 35 years in jail. You would have got the drugs in your house, dog, because it's your house, but could have sat that shit out. But, to each his own. Who am I to talk? They played me for a damn speeding ticket, so it is what it is. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I have several more quick clips. I have the clips of what's her name? Miss Bennett and D'Angelo White. Let's see here. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is. This dude was so funny. So funny. He said, right, wrong. Oh, Jesus. He said, right, wrong. No. Where are you at? I don't want to go there. No. That daggum Tupac theme song thing drives me nuts. Just because I grew up listening to Tupac. So I'm like, eh. Where is it at? All right. Is this it?
Right now.
So you're not tied with Rob or Rob Cleveland Avenue?
I don't know it, man.
You also know who shot who, don't you?
You try to make me.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. God dang it, what are you doing?
I don't know who shot who.
You didn't
Look at you pausing.
somehow know DK?
I mean, you told me. Him.
You didn't tell Tech Dennis and Tech Baker on July 13, 2015 that Walter Murphy got walks around with the DK tattoo.
Night, Miss Connie.
Gas station.
If you talking about the dude who tried to bribe me.
Walter Murphy tried to bribe you?
No, I'm talking about your people.
My people tried to bribe you. How do you try to bribe you, right?
Trying to get me to tell somebody I don't know.
How can we get on you to tell somebody you don't know when you pick it out 9 years ago on April 12th?
Thank you for
I don't even
joining.
know Walter Murphy. I don't know nobody by the name of no Walter Murphy. 9 years ago.
This is right. I'm gonna approach you with case exhibit 73 Bravo.
This is cat.
I'm showing you the first page of 73 Bravo.
Look at Thug's face. He's just so like,
I'm showing you
kind of like out of it. He's just like, oh my
73
God.
Bravo. And I'm showing you page 3 of Bravo. Do you see? Is that your signature, Mr. White?
I mean, I say my first and last name. I mean, but that could have been anybody's signature.
So it is your first and last name, but you're saying it's not your signature. You're on page 3 on the far right, top left photograph.
It's not my signature.
Okay. Now, Mr. White, I also want to show you the last page, which is page 6. You see this photograph, the bottom left, that circle. Is that the same initials that we just saw a second ago, Mr. White?
Them look like two different signatures.
Is that the same initials as your name, DW?
Of course, because my name is DW, but I don't mean I did that.
Okay, so you didn't sign or initial either of those pages in 73 Bravo.
No.
Okay, thank you, Mr. White. Now, do you know many people or anyone else that has a D and a K tattoo between their eyebrows other than Walter Murphy?
But I don't even know Walter Murphy. Why you keep trying to make me know somebody?
This is why, would you agree that someone who had, is that tattoo unique? 2 letters between their eyebrows? Is that unique?
Many people
Yeah,
know.
it's only 4 left. It's sometime in February. I can't wait to cover it, to watch it.
When Lieutenant Oliphant and I met you
I want to be able to do a stream.
Walter Murphy, you knew.
Honestly, I want to kind of be able to do a night stream.
Okay, same day you keep saying you met me at Fort County, right?
Right.
I told you I didn't know Walter Murphy. You saying I know Walter Murphy, but the same day you met me, it's the same dude. An hour before you met me, the bald head dude back there, told him I don't know Walter Murphy.
And Mr. White, you said that Walter Murphy and Jeffrey Wilson are like this, he's cross-fingered, right?
You said it.
And Mr. White, when you go like this, like you did being Lieutenant Oliphant, Polk County Jail, this means someone's tight, right? Someone's close, cross your fingers.
I guess it is what you want to put.
Have you ever seen someone ever put your fingers crossed like this saying that 2 people are friends? Have you ever done that, Mr. White?
No, because I don't do that.
Oh, hi, Mittens.
You remember sitting in the library in Polk County Jail, Lieutenant Oliphant and I were around the table?
Yeah, you was asking me something. I told you I didn't know.
And I asked you, Lieutenant Oliphant right there, since you grew up in Cleveland, on Old Hayfield, did you know anyone from that area? And you said you knew Walter Murphy, right?
I don't know Walter Murphy.
And Mr. White, you also said that you don't think that Walter Murphy realized you were in the car the day that the shooting happened, because you and him are actually cool with one another, right?
I don't even know him. Walter Murphy sounds like a white person.
And you also said that you ran into Walter Murphy, you may know him as DK.
I like how Adams was trying not to laugh.
There was no problems between the two of y'all, right?
How much these folks paying you to try to make it seem like I know these people?
Look, Ryan still looked up in like, hold on, wait, what?
After April 12th, 15 shooting, is that testimony here, Chad?
I done been to prison. This is my second time in prison, so
What, baby?
I ran into a lot of people. So I ain't tell you I know Walter Murphy.
So, Ms. White, remember yesterday I asked you to remember a phone conversation you had on July 13th, 2015, with the Atlanta Police Department Detective Dennis. Remember that, right?
No.
Now, on that call, you explained to him what happened to Pooh that night, didn't you?
I was in prison in July. Man, I did 2 years in prison, man. I was probation violation. I got out 10-17-17.
Ms. White, when you talked to Detective Dennis on the phone, You told him what happened that night to who, didn't you?
No, did you?
Ms. White, you told Detective Dennis that OG Bentley and his partner walked in the store, so my partner got out of the car, he was fixing to go in the store, the girl was talking to him about how they felt when you were on their tail, correct? That's what you told Detective Dennis?
Incorrect.
Mr. White, you also told Detective Dennis, and so when OG Bentley's partner came out of the store, he seen my partner and the girl talking, and so he felt that they were, trying to get at each other, right?
Wrong.
Mr. White, Detective Dennis asked you if your partner and the female from the other car were arguing or exchanging words. And you told him the girl in my partner.
Oh, but Jesus, don't freeze.
She was like, dang, y'all pushing up. It was just like y'all were on our tail. And so he was like, he felt like we was on his tail. When OG Bentley's partner came out of the store, he went back in the store and told OG Bentley that was like such and such out here. You didn't tell Detective Dennis that over the phone?
No.
Detective Dennis asked you to clarify about what you meant, and you told him such and such, and told you to give him words, right? This is your response. I don't understand. I was not in their face. So I was not at OG Bentley's face or his partner's face. OG Bentley's partner came out of the store and looked, boom, and you see my partner and the girl was driving talking. And so I guess he thought it was exchanging numbers or trying to get at his girl, right?
Wrong.
Mr. White went on to explain to Detective Dennis. So he went back in the store, told OG Bentley what was going on. OG Bentley stayed in the store for like a good 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, did not come out. Then after that, about 5 to 10 minutes later, a white Dodge Nitro Jeep 4x4 pulled up to the gas station, right?
Wrong.
You told Detective Dennis that the white Dodge Nitro was pulled up on the side of OG Bentley.
I'm so sorry, but I cannot help it.
And Mr. White, you then told Detective Dennis that the people in the white Dodge Nitro got out of the car with AKs and sticks and 40s and shit, and came to our car like they was like what's popping and all that.
Why would I be telling you something if this ain't even, it's not even my case? This ain't got nothing to do with me. I ain't involved in nothing. I ain't shoot nobody. I didn't rob nobody. This don't have nothing to do with me. So why would I be giving you some information about something? If this ain't got nothing to do with me.
Mr. White, I'm talking about the conversation you had with Detective Dennis.
Are you lying? Like, fuck, man, this is not, man, come on, man.
The worst part about that whole thing is old boy was like getting aggravated. He was cussing. He was like, don't be talking about my mom, Nick. And okay, this was the Miss Bennett one. We'll just play into this one.
With the district attorney's office, isn't that true?
Yes.
Yeah,
You
that
told
was
us
a
when you were back there
witness.
that they had been quote, harassing you for a number of months. Is that true?
Yes. This is another witness.
And in fact, you said that prior to coming out and testifying, that the only person you were afraid of, you didn't want to be around, was Investigator Hamilton from the district attorney's office. Is that true?
Yes.
And you're saying that to us, and then your testimony subsequent to that was based on the interactions that you had with Mr. Hamilton. Isn't that right?
Objection, Your Honor, vague as to the question.
There was nothing vague about that question. Nothing.
Mr. Hamilton had contacted you prior to yesterday. Is that right?
Yes.
He would call you from time to time. True?
Objection, vague.
What's vague? What is? Can I have some?
Yes.
Let me ask you questions, okay? Mr. Hamilton had harassed you. Is that correct?
Yes.
In fact, you told us when you were back there that you didn't want to come out and see him because he had sexually harassed you. True?
Yes.
You felt like, and you told us that you were really concerned about coming out here.
I'm going to object as to relevance.
I'm going to object.
You told us that the times when he would contact you, it seemed like he was trying to date you.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna say this
In
real
your
quick because I'm gonna do a brief, as Kat would say, Posy McPositon. So the last witness, D'Angelo White, he was in prison. They forced him to come and testify about a shooting involving DK and God, what is that other boy's name? Nard. Well, they got it in. Well, it wasn't really a shootout, but it was a situation that happened at the gas station. They were all caught on cameras running up on this car. There was this car that sat outside the gas station, never went in. Supposedly, it was supposed to be a drug deal, but then someone else said that they targeted these people. It didn't seem like that way. It seemed like the people that were associated with YSL or the people that were there, TK Murphy, they were under the impression that the dudes that were in the blue car were gonna rob another person. And so they came to scare them off. They then called this boy to trial, and he's like, I don't remember none of that. But again, mind you, I get it. He's in prison. He got to keep his eyes on his own paper, and he got to survive too. He got 36 more months left in prison. So Atkins is questioning him, and the dude is like, why am I here? Man, send me back to Chain Gang Prison. Why am I here? I want to be here. And He was a witness, and they was a mess. Now, these are all, this is Glanville days. Most of this is all 10 years old. Some of it probably even older than that. So that happened. DK had already went to the jail. The dude that's testifying was like, I didn't get hurt. I didn't get hit. I'm not a witness. I'm not a victim. I'm nothing. Leave me alone. Let me go to jail and do my time. The individual that was hurt, that was a victim in this case, ended up losing part of his head due to this violence. The two people that were convicted of it had already went to jail and do that time. They brought that gentleman in to testify, and he did not even know that they had found and convicted two people of his shooting, and he thought he was coming to trial for the very first time, not knowing that those people were already sent to jail and let out of jail. Yeah. This young lady here was an associate of Young Thug and DK. Her boyfriend used to rap with them, or her baby daddy used to rap with them. So some things happen. She's kind of involved in a situation that happens with Shannon Stillwell too, or at least her rental car is. But this young lady, she accuses Thug and DK of robbing her, and then she subsequently just kind of like takes it back and move on about her life. However, in the process of trying to get her to testify, District Attorney Love tried to become like her best friend, her godmama type of situation. Like, I got you. I got your back. I'm going to protect you. I'm going to get you help. I'm going to get you whatever you need. But in our reality, she wasn't willing to do any of that. She just wanted her testimony. Now, in order to also do that, she kind of sicked one of her investigators on her, which was a dude that ended up trying to date her. He started texting her, calling her. And I ain't gonna lie, this girl probably had a little bit of the thoughts like, you know what? Maybe I will talk to him for a little bit. But then soonly realized what they were doing and was like, stop talking to me. I don't want any involvement with you guys. Like, I don't want anything to do with this. And so then they started threatening to get her arrested. And lo and behold, they sure did. Glanville was signing those warrants left and right. So this was one of the very first material witness warrants that they got signed by a judge, whom Ashley Merchant later came out and said there's no such thing as a material witness warrant for someone who lives in the state of Georgia. You have to live outside of the state. But, you know, as I said, this trial got all the way funky. Yes, D'Angelo White is the one that Gaither and Dennis picked up and was driving around getting information from him. Meanwhile, we're recording the entire conversation, and he didn't realize he was being recorded. So that is the quote unquote witness statement that they got into evidence that Glanville allowed in. Oh boy, didn't even know that he was caught on recording. They never brought it up for him to hear. The only thing they ever brought up for him to hear was the 911 call that he made. And then they played the recording after he left. Go figure. You know? The sneakiness is the sneakiness. But I like the cross-examination. There is another part that I'm going to play that I'll have downloaded. I'm not going to do it tonight. I'll do it our
next week. You actually met with him at different locations. Is that right?
Yes, I met him at a restaurant.
Loves redirect.
Japanese restaurant off Moreland Avenue?
Yes.
A couple months ago?
Maybe, I think February.
Okay. He wanted to meet you, supposedly to talk about the case.
Yes.
But he wanted to meet you by yourself.
Yes.
You did not feel comfortable with the interactions you've been having with the district attorney's office, and so you brought your 20-year-old son along with you.
Yes.
You just happen to break it up so we'll know what you
think.
All right. I'll break it up. You didn't feel comfortable going to meet him by yourself?
Nope.
Because you didn't feel comfortable going to meet him by yourself, you brought your 20-year-old son with you?
Yes.
Was that before or after you met with Mr. Hamilton and he told you, don't talk to nobody else?
That was after. He told me before that. I came in, I seen Miss Love, and that's when I told y'all yesterday that me and Miss Love, we only discussed for a brief because they was like trying to tip me. And that's when I went to talk to him and a couple of more people from their team that I don't see right now. And then he ended up getting me by himself and asking me to give him my number and that he's gonna contact me, and that I ain't need to speak with no one else. And if they contact me, do not answer or speak to them, only him.
Okay. He told you that he would like to take you out when this was all over, didn't he?
Yes.
And then he's, as far as you know, he is an investigator, law enforcement investigator for the DA's office, right?
Yes.
You didn't have a problem discussing with the district attorney's office this supposed incident from back in 2013, right?
No, I never had a problem.
Right. And in fact, when going back to you being asked yesterday about whether you were scared or anything like that, when you met with the DA's office, you met with them so often that you actually lost your job, didn't you?
Yes.
They would contact you and say, hey, you got to come talk to us. And because of the number of times that you had to just kind of drop everything, leave your job, and come talk to them, you lost your job, didn't you?
Yes.
Any objections to form? You can rephrase, Mr. Harris.
You lost your job because of having to go meet with them, right?
Yes, but they wasn't meeting with me every time they tell me to, though.
Subsequent to or after you lost your job,
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton, the investigator, told you, don't worry about that. Take care of getting you another job, right?
Yes.
When you met with them, when you met with, there was actually a time where you came here to the courthouse to meet with either an investigator or someone else from the DA's office, true?
Yes.
Were you supposed to meet with Ms. Love? Were you supposed to meet with Ms. Love?
Yes.
And you were brought here by an investigator, Investigator Long, right?
Yes.
You ended up not speaking to Ms. Love that day, am I correct?
It's just for like a brief.
Okay.
Your Honor, I would object and ask that the witness answer the question. Yes or no, I didn't understand the answer.
I'm gonna rule the objection. She's answered the question.
When you, just to be clear, when you said a little while ago that Ms. Love tried to tip you, is that what you said?
Yes.
What did you mean by that?
Because when I met with Miss Love at the witness that she discussed, there was some things that we had to talk about, and she told me like it was some things we talked about that wasn't going to be brought up, but she wouldn't bring it up to me again, or we wouldn't have to discuss it.
Okay. All right. In your conversations, either with investigator or DA, they were asking you questions about 2013, correct?
Yes.
And you were asked yesterday whether you recall this supposed incident from back in 2013. Remember that?
Yes.
Your answer yesterday was you really didn't remember, right?
Yes.
Not talking about yesterday now, but going back a couple months, or whenever it was you met with them, you told them then, and then be in the district attorney's office, whether it's an investigator or a DA. You told them then, I really don't have a lot of memory or remember much about 2013, all right?
Yes.
So those two witnesses, if you
Back to Hamilton. So you would agree with me that you were talking to this
this
Mr.
was,
Hamilton.
hold on, I'm going to pause that. So those two witnesses, again, that's the clip that just started playing. I have the other clip that I want saved, but those two witnesses, D'Angelo White and Archillian Bennett, the DA thought that they were going to be so helpful to their case, but they were so harmful to their case. Why you say that? And I know every jury is different, but this truly was a jury of their peers, these gentlemen's peers. I think they just didn't know it because the men on this case felt some type of way about them dragging in black men to go and testify against other black men, especially being that these black men were in jail or on their way to jail and would have to deal with all the repercussions of potentially being a snitch in jail, which, if you know the prison system, is not a good thing. And that's in any prison system. It doesn't work in your favor, whether you're telling the exact truth how it happened or you're just telling what you think you know. If you go to those walls, behind those walls, and they get word that you somebody that like to talk to the authorities in any capacity, if you are not consistently beat up, you become a grown man's girlfriend. And the simple fact that the DAs were trying to pretend like this ain't something that really happens is crazy, because I work in a hospital setting and I know that we have prisoners come in there because of those reasons. And I know that paperwork gets filed and that information gets submitted. They do a police report, and at some point the district attorney's office ends up with those reports on their desk. And they have to decide whether or not to pursue it or just have somebody plead out and add time to their sentence. But, you know, if you're doing 3 life sentences anyway, it doesn't really matter to you if they add another 10 years. You're not coming home. You know what I mean? So they don't really care. But in addition to that, you got this woman who's suffering basically from PTSD of some sort. At least it presents that way. Definitely suffers from anxiety and depression. You telling her to, one, remember 13 years ago and think she's pretending when she says that she blocks it out. But even if she is pretending, it's irrelevant considering the fact that she is being very honest with you about, I moved on with my life. You had a man on the stand for freaking 4 days. Adrian Bean, 4 days. I don't recall. Man, I'm so high right now. Oh my goodness. I need some water. Like, this is the type of trial that they presented. Seeing how Judge Whitaker presented herself, Adrian Bean would have been off the stand after day 1. It's a good chance. That for damn sure when he came in there high, he would have been gone. She wouldn't have stood for that. But, you know, different strokes for different folks. I don't know, guys. I got some more clips that I want to go over, but I do want to save that for this weekend, for Sunday. I wanted to come live today after Christmas. I was going to go live yesterday just to let you guys know that I am still here. I haven't disappeared on you, but life has been lifing these last couple of weeks, and I have been feeling the stress of that. But, you know, I've been keeping my faith and staying positive, and I know I'm going to get my subscribers and be able to take my YouTube to new heights. I do want to continue to do the YSL trials. I do want to continue to do trials, period. But I also want to be able to share with my subscribers, you know, my everyday life. Y'all may not want to hear it, but you know what? It helps me vent and get it off my chest. And I like listening and talking to you guys on like a personal level and getting to know you guys. And so, you know, although I like doing the trial situation, you know, I also want us to kind of be like a YouTube family for real, friends and fam. So, I'm going to put together the rest of my clips and already have them lined up for Sunday when we go live. Usually I do Saturdays, but you know, I've been finding that my littles be wanting to go do stuff on Saturdays, and I don't want to. And then there's a lot of other streamers to go live on Saturdays too, so I just moved mine to Sunday nights. So Sunday night, I'll probably go live. It probably won't be night. I'll probably go live about between 3. I'll just double check with the fam bam and make sure we don't have anything going on Sunday, and then set up a time. But you know, you guys, I love spending time with you. I love talking to you. Like my little group of friends. So thank you guys all for joining me tonight. Thank you for joining me every time and coming and listening to me vent and us discussing YSL. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put some clips of some more recent things that's been happening, like the thing with Thug, the thing with SB, the thing with Yak. And I'm going to post we're going to go over some of that stuff. And then we'll also revisit some clips from the earlier days YSL, because some people that join late don't really know all the drama and BS that happened in the earlier days of YSL. But yeah, we'll do some recent clips and we'll also do some older clips and kind of go over all that collectively while I do my hair and get ready for work on Monday. So yeah. All right, tribe. Love you. See you later. And Kristen, special shout out to you, boo. I love you. Know that you have a friend here praying for you, rooting for you, and keeping you and your family in her prayers. Okay? You take it one day at a time, girl. You don't be stressing about nothing. You let that go one day at a time. Tell your family that they have friends over here that are wishing them well and praying that they get through this trying time in their lives. And you guys will be stronger together. So I love you, my girl. Mwah. I love you, boo. Thank you guys for everybody that joined me today. I'll see you on Sunday. I'll update the stream. Bye.